Welcome to HOLDFAST, Episode 4, The Beginning of the End. Narrated by Jake Dowzell. Hosted by Tony Preston and Erika Tobin. With guest voice, Lady Val. While the warm spring sun thaws the dead, frozen marshes of Annam, the roads leading to HOLDFAST have come to life and are bustling with traffic. An influx of visitors have come to explore the anomalies and unique landscapes while getting to know the heroes that protect it. Many have become enchanted by the quaint charm and have decided to try their luck at making HOLDFAST their home. Extending from the Earth Circle to the mouth of the Southern Trail, a small village of tents, huts, and cabins has developed. The knights have erected a large stone stronghold, the first proper building HOLDFAST has seen since the inn. Things are beginning to look and function more like a proper town rather than an outpost. But while the last few months have been prosperous, something all too familiar threatens to end the peace. Approaching on the cusp of the Northern Trail is a small caravan. Lady Val, along with her entourage, have returned from their winter spent in Sinsiput. She hurriedly rallies the council and summons a town meeting. Standing before the curious citizens, she clears her throat and begins.
Citizens of HOLDFAST, I'm not going to mince words. I've called you here to discuss matters of life and death. While in Torjadin on council business, I learned quite a bit about the monsters that have been plaguing our town. The enemies we face on the other side of this rift have a name. The Axis Supersede. They are a race of beings whose goal is to consume universes with the intention of expanding their own empire, and they will soon return. These creatures come from an extraplanar dimension in which normal physical laws of gravity, time, and space do not apply. In heeding the elemental lords and tethering the magical ley lines around HOLDFAST, we have forced the rift between worlds to open even more, while simultaneously forcing these beings to manifest on the physical plane of the known world. Across the continent, rifts have been opening up in the Empire, in Sinsiput, and in the Confederacy. Daily, these vicious creatures are breaking through the rifts and attacking caravans, travelers, and cities before disappearing without a trace. From my time in Torjadin, I have learned that the only hope for this world is us. We must fight the Axis here, where they must conform to the rules of our reality and complete the stabilization of their rift gate, or else everything we love and care about the known world will fall. As I've previously mentioned, it has been done before. Kinevin, the realm of the Mafali, was, I believe, the first confirmed rift on Annam. Their rift gate was stabilized by the ritual that the elemental lords completed themselves a century ago to protect Annam from the encroaching Mafali world. As a result, the Mafali may now pass freely into this world and guard their gate with the storms over Nolesia. I will warn you, it will not be easy. The trials we will face will be like nothing we have seen before. These creatures wish to see the end of this world and will do all in their power to destroy it, and they will hit HOLDFAST the hardest. However, we are not without allies. At this very moment, Arden is bringing a battalion down from the Confederacy to fight with us. Sinsiput and the Confederacy have offered to fight these creatures, forming from the minor fissures on the mainland to weaken their forces during our time of need. Across the known world, Fae and humans alike are coming together to fight the rift creatures so HOLDFAST can stand a chance. If anyone wants to leave, we will not judge you. But HOLDFAST needs to stand united for the fate of our loved ones, the known world, and the planes joined to our universe. All of this rests in our hands. One thing we know for certain and have on our side is our knowledge of imps. We know firsthand from Hare's transformation that they can nullify the magics of the rift beings. As such, HOLDFAST is looking for volunteers to stand before Fairy and become First Fae. This will be dangerous and it will mean fighting on the front lines, but it may be the best hope that we have.
The room was silent. Most of these folks had no knowledge of universes or extra-dimensional planes. All of it made little sense and was overwhelming. But the point was clear. One by one, a small group stood and gathered at the top of the inn, volunteering themselves to Lady Val.
Thank you for volunteering. It will take some time to prepare our travel to the Mists. We will meet again tomorrow at noon and depart for the Fairy Ring and the Mists thereafter.
And with that, the meeting was adjourned.
Okay, hello. Welcome to episode 4 of HOLDFAST.
The LARP podcast. Hey guys, what's happening?
I am with Tony Preston.
And I am with Miss Erika Tobin.
That was beautiful. We've never done that before.
No.
And it was everything.
Yeah.
So this episode's late, which I would just like, that's all my fault. I would just like to clarify that that's all my fault, but life really gave me a kick in the chutzpah.
Did we just go? I don't even know what language that is.
That's Yiddish, I believe.
Yiddish. All right. You know what? I don't know any Yiddish, so I just have to take your word for it.
We're still getting on our feet, but we'll be there. We'll get there.
I was also extremely busy for the last month because this is Good Life's fiscal year now. So tomorrow we have we're getting ready for a meeting, and we were really pushed for sales to meet quota this month.
It's been a heck of a month. That's what we're trying to say.
Oh yeah,
both work-wise and otherwise. We're getting there. Be patient with us. But even though this is a month later, this is the first podcast that we're doing after May Game.
Yep.
How'd you feel about May Game?
May Game was an extra long event, so
it was 4 days, which I realized that's a lot.
We've never done that before.
It.
Oh man, if the entire 4 days was the LARP event, I would have been happy. Mm-hmm. But I mean, obviously the May event is the cleanup event where we just clean up site.
Yeah, we clean up site, which I don't know if that gives us. Sorry, I don't really know why we clean up site. I don't know if that gives us a certain bonus. Okay, also, I just want to say right now, the window is so loud, and I never realized this before, and for some reason the street is so busy today. So if you can hear,
I can just close the window.
No, it's not open, I don't think. Is
what?
It open?
What?
Yeah, that's just my window.
Oh my gosh.
But, okay, so I apologize for that. But back to May event. It is a cleanup event. So basically every May we all get together. And the first day of event, we clean up the site and we make all the trails usable again because we live in Newfoundland and all the trees fall on the trails and everything is just shit.
Yeah, the winter's brutal. A lot of wind, a lot of freaking snow and stuff.
Site looks like trash. We all get together, we clean up site, and then we take normally it's just we get Saturday night and Sunday to LARP, but this time we got Saturday night, Sunday, and Monday morning to LARP, which was really great.
Because it fell on the May 2-4 weekend.
Oh, life was good.
It was a good time. Extra long event meant some extra stuff for the May event, and so we were cleaning up on Friday. I brought my chainsaw, so it was nice getting rid of some of the old lumber and stuff, and we cleaned up a little spot behind the cabin, which Hugo pretty much spearheaded that. That was his own little thing that we did, but we did a good job. We opened up a lot of space.
It was good stuff. I mean, site looks great.
Yeah, and it's good to go for another year.
Yeah.
Another season of LARP.
So good. So oh, sorry, continue.
No,
I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's all good.
I was going to say, what were your favorite memories of event? What were your big things happening?
There's one particular thing that sticks out in my head, and I think you know what it is.
I know what it is.
I think everyone who's listening knows exactly what it is.
You were excited, and I can understand why. Tell us all about it, the underwater adventure.
All right, so it wasn't Saturday, the first day of game, it was Sunday. Mm-hmm. and it was about midday. And, well, I think I was in the inn at the time, and Hydrea, played by Hillary as a cast character, came up. She's the mermaid princess, came up, and she essentially said, all right, Krond, we're ready for you. Let's go.
But, okay, what was, like, the whole thing? Like, they had okay, just a little backstory. We had a solid gold golem come into town and start attacking us, and our way of dealing with that was, as soon as we got it down, like, unconscious, we threw it into the water.
Well, I think we need to be a little bit more...
You be specific, because I wasn't there for it.
Okay, so it's not that we downed it and we were like, all right, throw it in the ocean, it's done. We tried... it felt like we tried everything to destroy this thing. We tried melting it down, it just wouldn't melt. We tried breaking it, it kept repairing itself. It kept attacking us, even though it was down. And, Dagrin and I and a couple other people were trying to rack our heads like, what the heck do we do with this thing? So, about 10 minutes had passed. Krond had gotten frustrated. He was like, damn it! So he picks it up, goes over to the ocean, and just hurls it in there. And
so we tried everything. We threw it in the water. And then the mer people had to deal with it.
Little did we know at the time, the golem had a self-repair mechanism,
right.
which meant that obviously once it went down, after a certain period of time, it would get back up again.
Yes.
It would just repair itself. But when it was down and when it repaired itself, it was at the bottom of the ocean. So I guess it just started wrecking things and wreaking havoc down there.
Wrecking Mertown.
And
I forget what it's called in Mermaid City. It has a name, but I forget it.
Atlantis.
I don't think it's called Atlantis, but it's basically the same purpose. But that was beautiful.
Thank you. So
we have like mer people in this game. We have a player character.
Not a player character. It's a player that plays a cast character.
Yeah, we have a player character who plays an NPC. Who plays a mermaid, and she's been pretty active in town.
Yeah.
Basically, a lot of our problems come down to throw it in the ocean, and that's when Hydrea, her character, comes up and says, "Please do not throw it in the ocean." So that's basically what happened here. So how did you beat it? What happened?
Well, once Hydrea came up from the ocean and turned her fins into feet, which still freaks Krond out a little bit. She came up on land, and she walks over, and she said, all right, Krond, it's time to go. And I said, all right, let me get all my armor and gear and stuff. And so I go over. I get Graham, my big sword. Mm-hmm. And
Your big boy.
Yep, my big boy. My first sword ever.
My beautiful son.
I go over to the edge of the water, and Hydrea is waiting for me, and we get ready to go. She puts a necklace around my neck, and she says, it's a necklace of infinite water breathing, so unlimited water breathing.
Okay, so it's just like a necklace that helps you. I don't know why I'm like reiterating this.
Yes.
What you said made sense.
It's exactly what it sounds like.
You can breathe underwater now. Continue. I'm sorry.
It's okay. So we get ready and dive in, and we just go describe scene, they jump in, and then make their way down. So what we did was, because obviously in real life we're not going to jump in the water and fight at the bottom.
It's not a real water breathing necklace.
So what we do is we go to a little section on site that's closed off. This is what we call a closed mod. And a closed mod is essentially something that happens in-game, but either off-site or like in a different part of site that we can't go to or whatnot. The point is, it's a little closed area where you do your RP and whatnot. And
yeah, it's RP just for those player characters that are involved and the cast to like create that scenario for you. So there were several times where we've like walked in on closed mods and cast just says, "This isn't for you. Go away."
Yep. That's kind of what happened this time around, because I was so loud calling my damage.
You were. I heard it, and I was like, I know exactly what that is.
Yep.
Tony's having a great time.
people like legit thought I was up there fighting something, and they were like, "We're here!" And Sharon's like, "No, it's a closed mod.
No, you're not. Go away." I think it's really special that cast does that kind of thing. I actually love it.
Yeah, me too.
I've never been a part of a closed mod, but I love that that's a thing.
I've actually been a part of two closed mods.
Really?
One of them was with Dagrin, because he found something. It was an egg mod.
Yes.
But you needed tracking too for this egg mod. Mm-hmm. And
you have tracking.
And I have tracking. Dagrin was like, Declan was like, well, I only know one person who can track, so I'm going to take him with me. And so we did a closed mod where we were both underground. This was last year. We did a closed mod where we were both underground, going through like these tunnels and stuff. And at the end of the closed mod, we found this chest with all of these gems. Anyway, that's a different story entirely. Mm-hmm. The closed mod that I was doing this game was the mermaid one. And so after we had jumping.
Life is hard today. We're doing our best.
After we jumped down into the water and swam through, as we were making our way to the side of the closed mod, Sharon was following behind myself and Hydra, and she was describing the scene. And what had happened was, where I threw the golem, the spot where I threw the golem underwater, and it had reactivated, all that spot was just decimated, and there was like a clear path of just destruction, like in a line going where this thing has been.
Cool.
And
what a bad egg.
I know, right? How dare he? I don't think he made his way to the Mermaid City. And what had happened was, because they were or the golem was causing so much destruction and wrecking the coral reef and messing with the wildlife there, I guess. The mermaids couldn't do anything about it, I think, is what happened. So what they did was they kind of just threw it down in this little cavern type thing, and it just sort of resided there because it couldn't crawl out.
Right.
So we go to the spot of the closed mod, i.e. where the golem is underwater. Uh-huh. And it's there, and it's just, it's inactive. Like, I guess there's like this...
It's like sleeping?
Yes, it's kind of like in a hibernation state type thing. And like it's proximity, there's like this, it's when something gets close to it, then it'll activate, right? So it's just kind of sitting there doing nothing at the time.
Where do we know where this golem came from?
I have no idea. We don't know where it came from. It just sort of appeared and didn't like HOLDFAST, I guess, because it just started attacking us. And
I feel like that's something we should probably figure out. But anyway, continue.
So we get to the side of the closed mod, and Sharon has this bag of stuff that she holds up in front of me, and she's like, okay, we're going to put some of these on you. And I'm like, what are these?
What are those?
She hauls out these goggles, and they're blue. They're blue transparent goggles, I guess. Like, you can just like anyway, like, they're supposed to simulate like me being underwater and seeing things, I guess, in a distorted color. Anyway, so like I put these on.
Were they just regular swimming goggles, like out of game?
Yeah, like they're regular swimming goggles out of game, right? So I put them on my face, and then she's like, "Okay, now take these." She hands me like these headphone type things or earmuffs to muffle the sound a bit, because obviously sound is muffled underwater.
This is like sensory deprivation.
That it's sort of what she was going for. Then she hauls out these two like resistance bands or like muscle bands and stuff. Yeah. So now not only am I fighting this golem, I'm fighting this golem with restricted movement.
I feel like you would not get this at a lot of LARPs. Like this kind of like special closed mod treatment where it's like...
I remember when I volunteered to go do this, right? It was on Potato Day. Hydrea came up and she was like, guys, we got to deal with this golem, and you threw it in. You got to, like, how are we going to do this? And Kron came up and he was like, I'm sorry, that was my fault. How can I help you? And she was like, I don't know. Like, that's when I offered to go there and see if I could take care of it. That's why Kron was doing this. And I remember about 10 minutes later, I was outside at the time, and Sharon just comes out of the inn, and she's smiling, hands clasped together, bouncing up and down. I'm like, oh my god, what is wrong with you? And she's just smiling. She's like, this is why I like messing with you. And I'm like, why? Because you do shit like this. You just roll with things. And I was like, okay, I was just trying to do what my character does. Please don't kill me.
No, it's true. I feel like you do play a very, you do play an interesting character who gets involved in things.
I take things as they come. And at the time, Kron felt bad that he was the one that threw this golem down, and now it's causing shit down to the bottom of the ocean.
So how'd you beat it? Did you just beat it to death with sword?
Beat the shit out of it with my sword.
You just beat the heck out of that thing.
Yep. So it was, Fairchild Grove. Mm-hmm. That's where the closed mod was. So.
Oh man, there's nothing going on there anymore. It makes me sad.
Not really. So I hop into the ring. Golem's there, and I'm slowly etching my way toward the golem. He starts moving. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. So then I start obviously the only thing that would work against this thing would be the sunder damage, right? That's why I'm down there doing this. My weapon was one of the only things that could hurt this thing.
Right.
So thank God the golem was a golem and that it was mechanical and it was slow, because I don't know how this fight would have gone otherwise. Because my movement was like super restricted with these bands. Sometimes the sword would get caught up in the bands and I'd have to undo the handle while the golem was walking towards me, and I was like, oh my god. So the fight took about, I'd say it was a solid 10 minutes.
There was a lot of noise happening. I think what you said this happened on Sunday. I think I was sparring in the field when you were doing this, and we could hear you yelling, and I was like, I know what that is.
Yep. No holds barred. I was yelling like Sunder, 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 and I was calling like I was calling from a regular damage, but I had no idea how much HP the golem had.
Man, that's tough, because I would feel intimidated taking on an NPC by myself. I really would.
This is what I live for.
You have no fear of such things. I would be terrified. I really would.
Yep. After about 10 minutes of just sundering the shit out of this thing, actually, so I was trying to mimic swimming the fight as much as possible. So whenever I moved, I'd like try and swim through the water. I'd back up. I'd try and like whoosh my arms.
You were
to make it
doing
look
your
like...
swimming lesson
I was
moves.
trying to do my swimming.
You were doing
stuff.
your butterflies and your breaststrokes.
Exactly. Kront only knows breaststroke.
What does that mean?
Shh.
What is that? Oh my gosh, okay.
But here's the really interesting thing about what happened in the fight. Little did I know the golem had the skill Exceptional Strength.
Oh.
And the golem
Is that something you can take in-game?
No, it's not something you can take. It's not a skill, it's a special ability.
That's cool. Continue.
So the golem grappled me. The golem's grapple was higher than mine. Not that my grapple was low because I was raging, but the golem grappled me, and it won the grapple. And then Rob was like, he was hesitating to say it, and I was like, dude, whatever you're gonna do, just do it. And he was like, Exceptional Strength, I break your arm, and I can only wield Graham with 2 hands.
Oh no!
So it's like, it's near the end of this fight. This golem has taken a hefty amount of damage. It's like this close to dying, and then Rob breaks my arm, and I can't use the sword. It's the only thing I brought. So I'm just like, I'm trying to block him with one arm. I can't do anything. So what happened was Hydreia's little squid thingy swam down, wrapped itself around my arm, and acted as a brace. And Sharon was like, it hurts, but it's good enough to use Graham two-handed.
Oh my gosh, bless. Because that squid saved my life as well, but continue.
So I was like, okay, now I have to RP being in pain from swinging Graham every time. After the next, 2 or 3 minutes, this golem finally goes down.
You've gotten a lot of experience with that, though. You're good RPing pain. Tony just nodded very...
One would even say I've been on an operating table a couple times. Fuck. So the golem went down. I severed its head with some sunder damage. And then Hydreia comes over, takes the head, throws it into an even darker abyss. I'm like, wasn't this the problem in the first place? And I was in pain. The squid kept bracing my arm, and she just rushed up towards the surface of the water as fast as she could.
That leads me into the one really big thing that I did this game. Well, it wasn't a really big thing, but it was kind of my main story thing for this game.
Who are you playing at this particular part?
I played Sylvie for... Okay, so we started Saturday night. Mm-hmm. I was Asher. I played Sylvie for a majority of Sunday during the day, and then I got back into Asher, and I think I played Asher for the rest of the game.
Okay.
So I was mainly Asher, and that's who this story involved, and it also involved the Mer people.
Oh, okay. I know what story you're talking about. Do tell.
Yes. So, basically we have this sea witch, Jenny, who likes to come, create chaos and wreak havoc on our town.
Yeah.
She returned and she was talking about, she was looking for like the mermaid's purse, and everyone was like, mermaids? Let's go ask the mermaids.
Yeah, 'cause we found out a bunch of stuff about Jenny this game.
Oh, yes, we did.
Yeah.
We sure did.
There was a lot of, like, I don't know, at least for me, there was a lot of speculation on, well, 1, what Jenny is, 2, what she wants, and 3, how to fucking kill her.
Yeah, there was a lot of backstory on Jenny this game, which
Yeah.
I love because she's been around since like
Since
our
game
first
started.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe before that, I don't know, but definitely since our first season. So
Oh, yeah.
so this is like the third season at the most of her being involved. But but anyway, she started talking about the mermaid's purse, and everyone said, Asher's the water champion, maybe she can blend with water and go to the mermaid city and ask them if they know anything about this.
Yeah.
So okay, this is actually funny.
Well,
Our AD like face palmed at how fucking dumb I am. I'm sorry to cuss, but she literally face palmed at like, oh my gosh, Erika, what are you doing? So here's what happened. I had 2 water mana on me. I thought I had more than that. I didn't. I had 2 water mana on me. I blended with the water, and I was like, where am I going? I don't know where the mermaid city is.
you came to Kron and asked for basic
This
directions.
was after.
Yeah, this was
before
after.
I came to Kron, I went and I was like, so I blended, I went to cast, I was like, so I've done this, and they're like, do you know any direction on the mermaid city? And I was like, no, and they were like, okay, go find out. So then I came back to shore, I went to Kron and I was like, what direction do I go in? And he said, you go this way. You go, I think it was,
I
you're
didn't
headed
actually
east?
go into the mermaid city. I just sort of went where the golem went.
But
and
you
the
had
golem-
an idea,
I
right?
had an idea, exactly.
Right.
So I know the direction that I went to fight the golem was east, and I knew that somewhere between the eastern and northern tangents. I can't think of the word right now.
There's like a crossroads, and you either
Exactly.
go south or you go north, and you
basically,
thought you go south, right?
I told you to go a certain distance east and then make a right turn,
Right.
essentially. And
Yeah.
that was a basic idea.
So with that knowledge, I grabbed my last water mana, which I did not know was my last water mana, and I said, here I go, like gonna go save the day, or at least try to. So there goes my last water mana. I'm blended with the water. I'm in the ocean. I head down. I go east. I see the turn. I go south.
Yep.
So at this point, it is also a closed mod, but the closed mod is taking place in the cast cabin. So I go to the cast cabin. I am sitting there describing to Sharon what I do, and she says, okay, so like your mana's gonna like give out at 30 minutes. And I can't remember at which point I did this, but I was like, I should get another mana in my hand for this. So I reach into my pouch and I'm like reaching for a mana, and all I have is earth mana. And I was like, oh boy.
Oh no.
Oh boy. So like, so at this point she's like leading me through it. She's directing me. I'm in the mermaid city and it gives out. And she's like, what do you do? And I'm like, I flail for my life because I don't have another mana on me. And she literally face palms. She's like, oh my gosh. And she's like, please leave the cabin. We have to talk about what we're going to do about it. I literally had to leave the cabin so they could figure out what the heck to do with my stupid behind, because I didn't bring it up. I was so gung-ho on being like, all right, I have something to do. Like, I have like a mission. I was so gung-ho on that I was like, I ain't bringing enough mana with
And then
me.
you totally biffed it.
Timian offered me mana. He was like, do you need some water mana? I was like, no, I'm good. I thought I had 4 on me at least.
Yeah.
Nope, they were all earth mana.
Oh,
so
no.
I come back into the cast cabin, and basically what happens is that same octopus squid thing that healed your arm or was a brace for your arm wrapped itself around my face. And I know, it's like getting into like tentacle porn shit.
I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going.
It wrapped itself around my face and was like breathing air into me. So I was like, all good, great. So that was Cass' way of being like, you're lucky we like you, I guess. Because for the love of God, I was not prepared. So then Asher went down there. I know, I'm so dumb. Asher went down there and she met with the Mermaid Queen, and the Mermaid Queen was like, how dare you just like swim in here with no direction? Like, where is your, like, you have no manners and no couth. What are you doing? And I was like, I'm so sorry, but like, we're trying to deal with Jenny. Like, I'm just trying to be helpful here. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, she mentioned the mermaid's purse, so I was wondering if, like, you know anything about it. The mermaid queen told me that the mermaid's purse is another name for Jenny's heart. So yeah, basically Jenny's heart is removed from her in this ritual to give her immortality. It's in this chest, and this chest is hidden somewhere on our land. So I was
on land.
Yeah, it's hidden in Holdfast. That's why she's like in Holdfast looking for it. That's why she keeps bothering us.
Okay, but like, if she removed her heart, her own heart, wouldn't she know where it is, or did someone steal it?
This is the thing. We don't know if someone stole it, and that was where the rumors came in. Like, a few of us were talking about what if Marwal has it. Because if Marwal has it and is, like, keeping her leveraged with her own heart, you know, that could be interesting. But that's just theories. We haven't confirmed that.
No. Oh man, that's weird.
Right. So I asked a few more questions. I was like, how do we destroy it? She was like, just stab it a bunch. That's all we know. They didn't know they said the heart could look like anything. They didn't know what it looked like. Like, it could literally be anything. So then I came back to shore with the help of Sucky Squid thing, because I am a sucky player and didn't bring enough water mana with me. So I made it to shore alive. I came into the inn. I told everybody, I was like, listen, like, the mermaid's purse is a heart. It's Jenny's heart. It's hidden somewhere on our lands. Let's go find it. But by that time, it was pretty late in the evening. Like, the sun was... It was kind of like that twilighty area where it's like the sun is down, it's starting to get really dark. So we searched around a little bit, nobody found it. But yeah, that's what I'm most looking forward to at this game, is going and finding that heart, because I think I know where it is.
Oh, like the game coming up in the next couple of days?
Listen, by the time this goes up, it's going to be game day.
That is true.
It's going to be like, we're going to game today. We're on our way. I'm sorry.
How dare you?
How dare?
Yeah, so man, there's a couple things that we got to do this game. I guess Jenny's heart is going to be one of them, but I really don't know when we're going to be able to do it, because I know, at least for me, my Friday game night is pretty freaking busy.
Yes, it is a very busy game. I know you guys have plans for Friday night for the Shrike.
The Shrike is going to be a really big part of Friday for me, but also Hillary's going to do some enchanting for some players. I'm going to see if I can get something enchanted.
There's a monster called the Shrike, which we need to hunt, which isn't like, it's not a major part of the game, but it's like
It's been bothering us for a while.
It's been a pass, yeah, it's just like a pass around game. It took one of my
other swords, which I'm still not happy with.
Yeah, it's been a pass, and Lady Val is doing some enchanting. Mm-hmm. I'm opening a tea house this game.
Good. I'm looking forward to a tea house.
I know that's not a big part of the game, but I'm honestly looking forward to it.
Hell no, girl. Kron's gonna be like, Zoe,
where my tea at?
Where my tea at? I have green tea with a little bit of honey, please.
I need to go get some honey. I want to get sweets too. I want to sell sweets.
You want to sell sweets?
I want to sell tea and sweets.
Kron's voice.
That's okay. I love Kron's voice. I want to sell tea and cookies. And psychic things, like psychic readings, yeah. So let's talk about June game, the game that by the time this is uploaded, we are going to.
Yep.
What's up, Tony? What's happening? Tell us, fill us in. What's happening?
Okay, well, this June game is, for lack of a better word or phrase, is the season finale of the Rift arc, or the Rift story that we've been playing for the last 2 years or so.
Right. So even before myself and Tony, because we started the same season, even before we came into game, I don't know exactly what happened, but basically these rifts opened around HOLDFAST, and I believe they opened because they created the elemental circles.
I don't know how.
I know. I don't quote me on that. That may not be why they opened, but I think that's how they opened.
Essentially, what the story is, or at least to my understanding, anyway, is there are these rifts, which are essentially these interdimensional portals. Leading to different worlds, right? Opening up around HOLDFAST and different parts of Unum. And through these portals are pouring in these horrible eldritch monstrosities, right?
Yes, yeah.
And basically what I mean by eldritch monstrosities are essentially like Lovecraftian type monsters that are like they're horrors essentially,
They're
right?
screechers, they're hellions, they're these big baddies that are like horrific and unearthly.
The main creature that comes through the portal are the hellions, and the hellions are they're like beasts that crawl on all fours. They're wretched, they're twisted, they're gnarly, they scream, and they give no fucks about their own well-being.
They give no hex.
And they'll just come barreling at you on all fours, screeching, and their only objective is to tear you apart.
Right.
Now that's like that. Those are the foot soldiers of what's coming. We've also had other eldritch beings come in. I think the Night Yeti was one of them. Mm-hmm. What else have we had? Can you think of anything else?
We've had the doll faces, which are honestly, they haunt my dreams. They have traumatized me.
They are the most terrifying.
I think I've talked about them before in old episodes, but they're basically these. They have like those white porcelain doll masks over them. They have like extending long legs. They're just really horrific. Like Cass does a really good job being absolutely terrifying in playing these monsters.
Especially Rob. Rob knows how to play a monster.
Rob knows how to play a monster. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And so like these things are essentially foot soldiers. But what we had come to understand about them is that the Hellions, the Night Yetis, the doll faces, all of these beasts are basically the projections of one of the eldritch being's thoughts. These are the thought projections of an eldritch being given physical form in our world.
I didn't know that.
At least
that's how much I pay attention to game.
That's my understanding. I think. Don't quote me on it, but that's as far as I know. I think that's what's happening, and the goal of these beings from another dimension is to invade, destroy, and assimilate our world into a part of their own and devour us.
You're absolutely right.
They are I don't know how to phrase this. They are planet gorgers. They are world eaters.
They basically like want to come in and just set everything on fire and just expand their own dimension.
Exactly.
They're like expanding through dimensions.
The problem is they didn't anticipate us.
That was so cheesy, but so good. I loved it. They did not anticipate us.
So every time the Hellions would come through, we'd beat them back, and sometimes bigger, scarier things would come by. We spent the majority of last season trying to tether the elemental links together. I believe we mentioned this in a previous episode.
And we've mentioned it in the story for this episode as well.
Exactly. So long story short, we took the elemental links that the elemental lords had given us. Right?
Yeah, the elemental lords were take the opposing elements, mana at these links, and then from these links connect them together, connect the mana together, and that will create basically a net.
Yeah. It would form a line between 2 points. There were 16 points total. It would form a line between 2 points of opposing elements. The result would be they would form an elemental net that would form itself over HOLDFAST and our plane. That would prevent the eldritch beings from coming through. But unfortunately, they also did warn us that once we do this, things are going to get worse before they get better.
Yeah, and in the story that we mentioned today, it has somehow creating this net has it's opened almost more rifts, but it's trapped these beings on our plane.
Yeah,
so now we can fight them.
These portals have been opening up not just over Adam anymore, but all over the main continent now. So the Empire has been getting rifts opening here every now and then. The Dragonspire Mountains,
the Confederates.
Yeah, exactly. So
everywhere
rifts
has
have been opening
seen
up everywhere. But the main bulk of the force that's going to come through is coming through from Adam, because that's where the portals first opened up, and that's where they're most powerful. That's where they're biggest.
Yeah. So that's been the main story arc that we've been dealing with for the last couple years. Mm-hmm. And this June game coming up, people are calling it the Epocalypse. It's this is
that's
isn't it? I love that. That's what I should have named this episode, the Epocalypse, but I didn't. I'm dumb.
I mean, is it too late?
It's too late. Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
So yeah, this June game is going to be the end of that storyline. Cast has been giving hints of... They haven't been giving hints of what is to come, but they've basically been if you have revives available to you and you die, like, don't come to us. Like, they've basically been hinting that a lot of us may
It's gonna be a big battle.
It's gonna be huge.
Like, we're gonna get our teeth kicked in, I think. But, like,
Yeah.
I don't think a whole lot's gonna happen Friday night in terms of Rift beings. We're gonna try and defeat or hunt the Shrike. We're gonna get some enchanting done, prepare for the next day.
Don't count on that, though.
I feel like all of Saturday is just gonna be this constant bombardment of all these things, and then come later in the evening, the final boss comes, whatever that may be. That's my theory. That's what I think is going to happen, and it's gonna be brutal.
I think all weekend we're going to be getting it.
Yep.
In the night, in the day, in the after, like, all day I think we're going to be getting it.
Yep.
But that's just me. That, like, honestly, that would tire our cast a lot. But, like, I think this game is going to be a really big one.
That's another thing. Speaking of cast, any player that has a cast character, they're not allowed to cast this game because it's all hands on deck now.
Really?
Yep. So it's just the main cast characters now that are allowed to cast for this weekend because they need everybody in town.
Wig incinerated, like blowing up. That's crazy.
Yep. It's going to be one hell of an event. I think it would have done us good. Like, imagine if this event was the 4-day event. Just like 2 days of just constant bombardment from this Rift creatures, like this war against the Rift.
Cast would die out of game. They'd be so tired. Has Kron has not experienced an in-game death yet, has he?
Don't say
I'm
it.
not. Listen, I'll knock on wood. Wood has been knocked on. I'm just asking.
No, Kron hasn't died yet, but not for lack of trying.
Asher has had one death.
Okay, that was a really unfortunate death.
It was a fast poison, which was it was a fast poison while all of our water all of our water mages were out of town, I believe.
And water mages have the untaint spell, which is basically like
could have cured my Exactly. As soon as I got it, I just started screaming for someone to heal me, but there was no one around.
I remember you were on the ground. You were like, "Does anybody have a water mana?" And I looked over, and was like, "I'm not a mage. I'm sorry."
Literally 4 of us died. So I mean, there was a death. It happened. I don't want to.
Rob felt really bad about that though.
But like, you know what? Like sometimes that's needed. Like in a game, like you want to be kept on your toes.
Exactly.
I'm not salty about it. Well, I mean, everyone's salty about a character death. But like, I'm glad to be kept on my toes. Honestly, like I'm glad to know that like. Even on a hot July Saturday afternoon, you're not safe. Even like when things feel the most comfortable, you're not safe. Like I like that in a game. I like the drama and the suspense. It brings a sense of
danger to games.
Yeah,
right?
I like that Cast isn't afraid to come out and be like, fast poison, fuck you.
Now, that being said, obviously I don't want Kron to die, but if he dies because shit happened, or even better, if Kron dies because as a result of like a boss monster, or he saved someone from, I don't know, getting mulched or something, I'd feel like that'd be a good death. Like
I feel like that's a really
dying
good
during
death.
a final boss fight.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Like that would almost be a good way to like. That's a good note to go. I'm not saying like permakill Kron or anything. Please don't, because he's one of our strongest. But like that's almost a good note to go out on. Mm-hmm. Like. If there was, if there was ever, like, a time to go out, like, this game would be it, right? Yep.
And Cast has warned us. Not that Cast is going to intentionally go out to kill us, but if someone happens to die, Cast is going to be too busy to give you a Land of the Dead experience.
Yeah.
So that's essentially why Sharon said, all right, if you die, don't bother going to the Cast Cabin for Land of the Dead. Just go into the woods, revive, and I guess we'll deal with it later.
Yeah.
Thing. It wasn't meant to scare people, but people have taken that as like, fuck, we're all gonna die.
Well, it's also been rumored that like Cast has. Okay, it's been rumored this, but I've also heard the rumor that like. It's been rumored that Cast has contingency in place that. If we don't do anything, then the world ends. It's a world reset.
Everybody.
But I've also heard that it's not going to... Like, we would literally have to all sit on our hands and do nothing for that to happen.
Yeah, exactly. The point of that was Cass doesn't want anyone to just say, shag it, I'm tired, I'm going to go to bed sort of thing. And just like, like everyone has to be involved in this in some way. And oops.
That's okay.
Cast wants everyone to be involved in this in some way, and if like they're warning you, like if you decide to go to bed super early and not participate in any of the events, there is a chance that you could die.
I
right?
like that. I love drama in a LARP.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, scare me, terrify me.
And yeah, that's essentially what they're gonna do. Now, that being said, it's not like they're going to go intentionally out of the way to try and kill us.
Right.
We would have to literally shag everything up and do almost nothing for this to be like a complete game over or world reset.
Would we though? Like, I don't know how serious they are about it.
I don't know if we'd have to do completely nothing, but like the chance exists. We would have to royally shag this up. That being said, I do anticipate an extremely difficult fight.
Okay, here's a question for you.
What's up?
On the unlikely event that this is a world reset, what's the next character you would create? Like, and
okay, well,
let's say you're
it's-
given all of Kron's experience to create a new character, what would you do?
Well, I guess that would go to, like, if you had any plans for secondary characters, which I've thought of before, but I haven't really pinpointed anything yet.
Is there anything in the rulebook you really want to try, but, like, you haven't got around to it?
I guess the next thing that I would like to try is dipping into magic. But I spent, like, $300 on a sword, and I spent all this time on this armor and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I would like to try and, at least keep using the sword. So
Right.
I think I'd grab Greatsword again. But I was actually thinking about making a paladin.
Oh, like a holy battle priest.
Yeah, something like that. Basically...
What would your religion be?
I don't know.
Would you make one up, or would you take one from in-game?
I
guess no in-game religions are... Oh my gosh, your phone, Tony.
It's mother.
Get your... Oh, hi, Tony's mom. I love your mom. Sorry. So, like, I guess none of the in-game religions really exist anymore?
Well, I don't know. It was just a thought I had. I was considering skills and stuff, and I guess, like, paladins are, like, the battle-oriented clerics, divine casting, smiting, and stuff. So I was thinking,
That big
like...
claymore you have would make an epic...
Are you talking about Graham, or are you talking about Fengir?
Fengir.
Yeah.
That would make
a
an
good
epic paladin sword, yeah.
So I was thinking about, like, going into some fire mana and then essence mana, right? Fire for, like, I can enchant the sword to do extra damage and just say I smite evil with it. Right? And like, I'd roleplay it, right? Like, I'd have the the fire mana and enchant it, and that would be my version of smiting something. And obviously the essence mana for, like, the divine casting sort of thing, the healing, the protection, the defeat evil sort of thing.
That's so cool.
Right?
That's a good idea.
That's what I was thinking about.
I just I would love to have all the XP in the world to play around with.
I would like to have a little bit more XP on Kron to just get some, like, basic quality of life skills. Like,
But
maybe up the grapple a little bit, which I'm considering doing.
That's that addiction, though. That's what keeps you coming back, is that
Exactly.
XP, man. It's never enough.
Every single year, or I've only been at this for 2 years, but I haven't had a game where I didn't know what to do with Kron's experience.
Oh, really? I've
'Cause
had several games. I'm a really bad XP planner.
I'm
like, I don't know, maybe I'll put it in a grapple. I don't know.
I know exactly what I want every game, going into every game.
That's crazy to me.
Every single game, I know what I want.
Although I do have all of my XP for this year planned.
Yep, me too.
Yeah.
You're going more so into Sylvie this year, right?
Well, my main character, Asher, I'm thinking about phasing her out a little bit. And going more into my sidekick character, Sylvie, which is what I was just going to mention. If it was a world restart, like, here's the thing. My armor is $1,600. Like you said,
Whoa.
like, oh yeah, that armor in there, like my bracers, my breastplate, my like.
Oh yeah, I remember when you ordered that from Artisans, right?
Yeah, it's from Artisans. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I would never just hang that armor up on a shelf and never use it again.
Yeah.
I love that armor. It's $1,600. Then I have, like, my sword and my bow. Like, I would basically create Asher 2.0. Like, I'd have to.
Yeah.
Like, I'd have to. Like, it's just all the gear I have.
Yeah.
But, like, all my XP this year is going into Sylvie.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first heard about Epoch, my original build was a psychic, but I was like, I don't really know how to play it, so I'm just going to go in with a fighter because, like, I don't really know anybody who plays this or anything, so I'm just going to, like, go with something easy.
Yeah.
But now that I've actually played a psychic, I really like it, so I want to put all my XP there. So I feel like I would put, if I got all my XP back from Asher, and it was, like, a world restart, I would probably put a lot more XP into psychic because I very much enjoy playing it.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's probably what I would do.
Okay, so we've talked about what I think is going to happen in game and sort of what I'm looking forward to. But what about you? What are you looking forward to for this game? What do you think is going to happen? Because I'm interested to hear what your theories.
Here's the thing. I'm a very overdramatic person, and I am open to admitting that. And I love, almost to a fault, I love the in-game conflict. I love conflict between characters and between the town and between all that stuff.
It's good character building.
Oh, it's great character building. Like, I love it. So I think this game we're going to see the whole town come together. I think we're going to... Because when our town comes together, we are a force to be reckoned with. And we have a lot of players this year. Mm-hmm. So I think we're going to be...
I think there's like over 40 players coming in this game.
Yeah, like it's insane.
That's ridiculous.
We've never reached 40 before to
the average for last year was 23, 25. So far the 2 games that we've had just for this season alone have reached 40 players.
Well, it's definitely over 30.
It's definitely over 30. Last game I think it was like around 35, 38. This time almost a confirmed 40.
I put out a message on Facebook and I was like, listen, y'all, we have a big game on the way and I need a smith to, listen, you don't have to like LARPing, just sit at this forge and fix my armor. That's all you have to do. And I recruited 2 people.
With that advertisement, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I was like, all you have to do is sit at a fire all weekend. Like, who doesn't want to do that? If someone told me go bonfire all weekend, I'd be like, yes. But no, I recruited 2 people who are actually, super psyched on it, so, that's great. But I think this game, we're actually going to, because the town, has its differences. There's a lot of conflict going on still. I think we're going to put all that aside for a game. We're all going to come together. As disorganized as we tend to be, I think we're going to be surprised, and we're going to organize really well. I think we're going to, put all the petty grievances aside and get together and fight this stuff. I think we're going to save HOLDFAST, and then I think we're going to come right back to where we were and start arguing with each other again. Because that's what I love. I think we're going to see some character deaths. I think I might cry this weekend. I think we're going to see some deaths of some people that I don't want to see them die.
I don't want Kron to die.
I don't want Kron to die either. I don't want... Listen, here's the thing. Kron still has 2 free revives. Well, not free revives, but 2 without ritual revives. Mm-hmm. Degran doesn't. Degran's on his last leg. If Degran dies, we need a ritual to bring him back. So, I'm going to be surrounded by... I'm going to surround Degran. I'm going to be like, no one's coming near my boy. Alex and I have those rings, so I'm going to stick with Alex with those magic rings. We're going to make use of those. I think our healers are going to be on point. I think everybody's really going to try their best to get shit done this game, and I think we're going to do it. I think it's going to be epic. I think we're all going to be really proud of ourselves at the end of the day.
I have no doubt in my mind that at the end of the day, at the end of Saturday specifically, everyone is gonna do just great. Everyone's gonna do
this
do
is
a thing.
So optimistic though.
No, believe me, when stuff goes down, be it something as small as lizard folk invade, or something as big as when Jenny comes into town, mm-hmm. all of us seem to get our shit together and do stuff.
There's nothing I love more, especially even when it's new players, when you see them just snap and get serious and be like, okay, now we're dealing with stuff. Now it's time to get serious and get together and really focus. Mm-hmm. I love seeing that in people.
Yep,
There's it's the time. Let's do this. Let's FS up.
This is truly the age of heroes.
So while this is extremely optimistic, and while I'd like to believe that, it may not happen, but that's what I really hope for this game. I really hope that we all work together really well, and we're all better friends at the end of it, and we all feel good. I want us all to have a really good game. Mm-hmm. I need a good game.
I need a good English, motherfucker. Do I even speak it? I need a good game too. The last month has been really work heavy, and I've been talking to Larry and a couple other clients, and they all know I'm excited for this game. So they're good sports for letting me take the weekend off.
Training, getting our stuff together. Yeah, no, I think I haven't put my XP where I should have put it, but I think we're gonna have a good game.
Oh yeah,
I'm excited. Anything you want to leave off on? Anything good happened to you in the last month that you want to just end things on a positive note? Doesn't have to be LARP related.
Anything good that happened?
Yeah, like I don't know, just like a heck yeah.
There's been a lot of a lot of crunch time for crafting has been going on.
Yeah.
So like we've had a lot of evenings where a bunch of us have gotten together and crafted some stuff and talked. I've spent a little bit more time over at the Crafternoons house.
We do a thing down here called Crafternoons, which like every Thursday everybody gets together at the same house and they do this thing called Crafternoons. As far as I know, not a lot of crafting happens there, but it's just like a lot of like team bonding, a lot of LARP bonding, which is great.
And recently there's been a bit of sparring. Now, I don't participate in the sparring, but it does happen. So, for anyone who's interested in LARPing and you're in the St. John's area of Newfoundland, the Crafternoons is actually a good place to get started with LARPing, because you go there, you get some ideas for how to craft stuff, you get some ideas for characters, you meet the players.
Man, and like the people who, I'm so bad because I never go to Crafternoons because I'm either too busy or I'm literally like just dying tired.
In the last month I've gone like twice, and that's more than I usually go, but...
Yeah.
You know,
but the people who regularly attend are the best.
Mm-hmm.
We have a great community, and you'll just meet a lot of people there, and it's a good way to get started, I think.
Exactly.
I'm sorry for my audio.
That's okay.
Audio fry right now.
So if you are in the St. John's area and you are interested in LARPing, Crafternoons is the place to go to do that. You can follow them on the Facebook page, NL LARP Crafternoons, or you can join the Epoch page, Epoch on the Rock Facebook page.
Damn, look at these plugs, Tony.
I know, I'm just firing it out. The freaking neurons in my brain are just like, let's go, 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 go.
Yeah, let's plug this ish. Let's get it done. Do you have any other plugs you want to make? Have you started any social media stuff yet?
You know, you ask me this at the end of every episode.
And it's
every
always a
episode,
no.
I'm always like, no, I feel so bad.
No Instagram, no selfies from Tony. Even though Tony, like, take a selfie. You're a handsome dude. People want to see your beautiful face.
I mean, okay.
I'm so sorry for my laugh. So I've had like the worst laugh all day. Other plugs, if you want to follow us on Instagram, you can follow us at HOLDFAST on Instagram. We also have a Facebook page.
I believe that one is called Hold Fast.
The LARP podcast, I think.
It's either Hold Fast the LARP podcast or Hold Fast the podcast.
Hold Fast podcast, something like that. You'll find us.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
And you can follow me on everything. Basically every single social media thing I'm at is at GuysIDK. You can find us on YouTube at Erika Tobin. That's the YouTube page. Just search Erika Tobin Hold Fast and you'll find it. Also, if you're listening to this on YouTube, guys, like, send us your comments. We love it. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe.
Exactly.
Like, that helps us a lot to know that, like, you're enjoying. One of my favorite, every week, everything I post, one of my friends in the group, Thomas, who I know Thomas does not mind me using their name, just posts, just every comment is just good. And it's my favorite thing. I love getting that comment. So even if it's just a good or a thumbs up or whatever, or like I enjoyed this episode or this episode was shit, like just send us a comment or something. Like it actually helps us a lot.
Yeah, it's nice to get a bit of feedback from everybody, even like especially if you're not just someone who's in the Newfoundland St. John's area and they're listening to this, and if you just happen to stumble across this video and you liked what you hear, just give us a like and give us some feedback. But like it's just like it's good. I don't like using this word, but it's good business, right? And if you think there's something that we can improve on, then let us know and we'll do our best to try and include it.
It's true.
On that note, also in the comments section, if you join the Facebook page, if you want to share any of your LARP stories, go ahead, share it to our Facebook page, right in the comments section, and we'll give you a shout out and we'll tell your story. If there's a particular story that you thought was freaking hilarious, or a moment that you thought you were really epic in your LARP, write it out and give us a story.
Yes, please.
We'll read it out.
We want to start doing this weekly where, I mean, like, keep them short. We're not going to go crazy and get into, like, a 2-page epic of your LARP event or anything, but, like, send us a paragraph or two of, like, something funny or good or something that happened at your LARP, even if it's Epoch. Like, send us your stories, and we want to read these out. Like, I want your stories.
Yeah, I like... half the reason why I like RPGs and tabletop RPGs is just the shenanigans that happen, right? I have so many hilarious stories around the D&D table, and I have so many hilarious stories with the LARP. But I want to know what your guys' stories are, because I know you guys have hilarious stories of your own, and I love reading about them.
My favorite thing is LARPers will always tell the story instead of being like, so I deal 6 metal damage, so I dealt, like, I dealt 6 metal damage to him 3 times. They'll be like, so I wield like a giant sword and I messed that guy up with my sword, which is like, it's not real, but they'll tell it as if it's real. Like, I shot that guy with a fireball. I'm like, that's amazing. Like, you're telling it as if you actually did it, and that's my favorite thing. So yeah, send us your stories. Maybe we'll start a thread in the Facebook group where you can tell your favorite LARP stories, and we'll read them out weekly.
All right.
That'll be fun.
That'll be a lot of fun. I look forward to that.
Tony, I will see you at game. That should be our sign-off. I'll see you at game.
Oh, yeah! We just found a sign-off! That's so good!
We did it. All right, Tony, see you at game.
I'll see you at game, Erika.
That's amazing.
Have a good day, guys.
Bye.